Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, why more people are saying no thanks to opening presents at parties.
Also, what movie has scarred me for life?
All that and more on the way next. Howdy, it's the RadioU Podcast. I always struggle with what to say here in this part that's just between you and Allie and I, that the rest of the radio world doesn't get to hear. So we'll just go with howdy. Allie, you had to skedaddle out of here early on Friday.
I did.
So that you could get to a wedding.
Yes, my cousin had a Friday night wedding, and a lot of people were probably thinking, Friday night, what? Well, first of all, the wedding was significant for the date. It was a significant day, as in it was on the 27th of June, and that day is like that number is an important day and an important number to my cousin and her now husband. So that's why they picked that day.
Yeah.
And also, I believe for most wedding venues, you get a nice little discount for doing it on a Friday instead of a Saturday.
I'm sure you probably do, because otherwise they're just sitting there empty.
Right.
So, hey, that worked out for them. Do you, your cousin isn't listening. Do you look forward to going to weddings?
I think it depends, honestly. There might have been a few weddings where I was like, maybe I'm just going to go and kind of be there for a little bit and then get out, maybe not planning to stay the whole time. For this particular wedding, I partied until the send-off. I was there the whole time.
Wow.
It's my cousin. I love her. I'm so excited for her. And I was like, there's no way in heck I'm leaving early.
Wow. That it must have been a fun one then.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I haven't been invited to a wedding for a while.
Okay.
And I'm very grateful for that.
Not a wedding fan?
Yeah, I've been to a handful of weddings in my day. I've had a good time at about like 2 of them. Not high batting average, I would say, for having fun at weddings. And so I enjoy that I've gotten to the part of my life where most of my friends have all paired up and married, and now we're done with that.
You're done out of the wedding phase.
Yeah, and if they have to get married, if I have to go to more weddings, then I feel like something has gone wrong for somebody.
Okay.
But then something has gone right after it went wrong.
Well, if, we have 2, DJs here at Radio U, several DJs actually, but me and Nene come to mind first off the bat. Aren't married yet. One day we might get married while we still work here. And
you guys wouldn't invite me. I don't mean you to each other, but neither of you would invite me to your wedding, right?
What? I absolutely would invite you to my wedding, and I would expect you to be there.
You shouldn't invite me to your wedding.
Why not?
We only see each other at work.
Hey, but you are my friend now.
We haven't even played pickleball together, and you're gonna invite me to your wedding.
Yes, I'm gonna invite the whole staff here at Radio U.
Oh, I
already know this, and I'm not even engaged.
I wouldn't expect that. You don't have to waste money on me at your wedding.
Well, you just don't RSVP, and then I won't.
Yeah. But you just said you'd expect me to be there.
I would.
And then we'd have to do a show here.
Where we would talk about coming to my wedding.
I know. And then, then I'd have to explain every day.
Well, you would have to talk about it while I'm gone, because I would be on my honeymoon.
Yeah.
So
and hopefully
you could share.
By the time you returned, you'd have cooled off and you wouldn't be heated at me for skipping your wedding.
For not coming?
Yeah.
There's no way you're skipping. I'm not allowing this.
I'll give you a present.
I don't care about the present. The present is you come to my wedding.
It's not fair because you didn't get to come to my wedding.
I didn't know you when you got married.
I know.
How can you judge me for that?
Well, I'm not judging you. I just think it's only fair.
So you just think you got to even it out now?
Yeah, it's even.
But if I did know you when you were gonna get married, I would have gone.
You wouldn't, because nobody was invited. I hate weddings so much I didn't even have one.
You didn't even have one? You just went to the court or whatever? Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the more and more I think about it now, I'm like, that's honestly a smart move.
I know.
Save yourself some money.
All the debt I didn't go into. I went into debt for other reasons, but not for that. So.
Well, I don't know if I should admit this now, but I'm already saving for my wedding.
You are?
I'm not even in a relationship, and I'm already saving.
You can just save a little less because you don't have to invite me.
You're getting an invite, Hudson.
RSVP, no. Disney magic turned into a Disney disaster yesterday. A disaster that was narrowly averted in a daring rescue. 8772 Radio U. Disney Cruises had a little things get out of hand. Easy for me to say. Where a child fell overboard.
Oh my!
On a Disney ship. Normally, like 9 times out of 10, anybody falls overboard on a cruise ship, and that's
yeah.
it.
I mean, cruise ships are huge. To fall that far is not good.
And you're in the ocean.
Yeah.
One of my biggest fears.
And there's propellers under the boat.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why falling overboard a cruise ship is mostly, by and large, fatal. This was not only just any person. A lot of times it's assumed, oh, it's a cruise ship, unlimited booze. They were drunk, they fell over. This is a kid.
Yeah.
It's a child on a Disney ship. But the good news is that her father was ready and able to hop in after her. So a good dad. But then you're like, oh no, now 2 people are going to die. But fortunately, Disney is like, this just shows how great our emergency response teams are because they were able to save the dad and the daughter both.
That's great. Happy to hear that. So I'm glad that at the end of the day, the story ended well. But why did she fall off the boat is what I want to know. Did she jump?
Turbulence, maybe?
Turbulence?
I don't know.
Is that a thing on boats? I mean, I know they rock back and
choppy
forth.
waters.
Yeah, there's choppy waters. I don't know if they would call it turbulence, though.
I mean, turbulent waters. I don't know. They say they don't know why she fell off. I don't know. The kids, man. Kids do crazy things.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she was.
Right.
I don't know anybody's name. This all just happened yesterday, so it's all very new. But I will tell you that if you're ever on a cruise ship, which I hope to never be, you can listen out. If you hear the words Mr. M.O.B. over the speakers,
yeah,
that's code.
What does that mean?
That means
man overboard.
Yeah, Mr. M.O.B.
That's not exactly very... it's not disguised very well. I think you'd be able to figure it out pretty quick.
I don't know.
Mr. Mob, okay.
I believe everything they ever say on a cruise ship is on the intercoms is probably
pretty
is probably
obvious. Code
for something.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they make announcements and stuff that you're supposed to know clearly what it means. But Mr. MOB feels like when your parents are talking and they decide to spell things out so you don't know what it is, even though you know how to spell. You're like, I know how to spell.
I feel like I'm thinking that they try to work this in cleverly.
Okay.
But then what if you're the person that has to make the announcement and you're like, okay, I need to get this out quick. Somebody's overboard. We got to mobilize. But how do I work in Mr. MOB to like, Mr. MOB will be performing in the ballroom? I don't know. But then what if people actually want to go see Mr. MOB? And so like you're hesitating to get your announcement out because you just can't figure out how to cleverly disguise it.
The way to finesse it.
Yeah. But I don't think it'll be a coincidence if Mr. MOB is the villain in the next Incredibles movie. This could be the inspiration.
Yes.
It sounds like it.
Mr. Mob.
Yeah. Jake Paul is threatening to sue his haters. You can sue for that. 8772 Radio U after a big fight over the weekend where he defeated Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He called everybody out. That's a normal thing after boxing, wrestling, UFC matches. He called out all of his haters. He says, after years of letting it slide as just haters being haters, I've asked my team to vigorously go after anyone who makes up lies about my boxing career. Expect to get served, you pigs.
My gosh.
This is after many people have called into question the fights that he's chosen, where he seems to be either picking non-boxers or boxers that are well past their prime, or in the case of Tommy Fury, an actual boxer that beat him.
Yeah.
So he is being called into question. Now, this has reached it's become an extra bit of a big deal because he had a recent interview with Piers Morgan where Piers Morgan called him, questioned it in the interview.
Yeah.
And then after the fight, Piers Morgan tweeted, "I had a better fight with Jake Paul on Thursday than the unwatchable farce that took place tonight. This guy's lining his pockets with buckets of dollars, but he's killing boxing with his boring staged BS against older fighters way past their prime."
Yeah, I think Piers is just speaking what all of us have said. This is just like, at this point, a running joke with Jake Paul, where it's like, who is he going to bring out of retirement to fight next? Like that just seems to be his MO as a boxer. Do you really want that to be your MO? You're beating up old men, Jake Paul?
No, he doesn't. That's why he's suing people that are saying...
But that's what you're doing.
Things.
You continuously do this. So I don't know how you can defend yourself. But yeah, after Piers tweeted that, his manager tweeted back saying, like, we will no longer accept these wild accusations. We're going to go after anybody, legal action and all of this stuff. And then Jake Paul tweeted what you said. And what I loved about that tweet was not the tweet itself, but someone in the comments of Jake Paul's tweet, which was retweeting what his manager had said. Somebody in the comments added Grok, the AI part of X, and asked the question, does Jake Paul fight boxers past their prime? And here was Grok AI's answer. Jake Paul has not fought any current or relevant boxers in their prime. His opponents like Mike Tyson, 58, and Anderson Silva, 47, were past their peak, while others like Nate Robinson and Ben Askren were not boxers. Tommy Fury, the closest to a prime boxer, was early in his career when Paul lost to him. Critics argue Paul avoids top-tier fighters, but his team insists his sanctioned fights show legitimacy. Data supports the view that his matchups favor less competitive opponents.
Yeah.
So even Grok AI knows this. Even they can see that this is all just, not very competitive fighting because he continually is fighting people that are in their 50s.
Yeah, and it's... like his manager and his team has said, well, all these fights are judged by fair judges, that and keeps talking about how
it's not rigged.
Yeah, the judges aren't tipping the scales for him, but they don't need to.
No,
because I feel
he's already got an advantage.
Yeah, he's got an advantage, and let's be honest, I feel like most of the fighters he's fought maybe are just doing this to take a paycheck, and they're not really caring. They may not
They're
be...
not trying that hard.
They may not be, saying, yes, Jake Paul, I will lose to you.
Right.
But I also feel like they may not be trying their hardest.
Yeah.
And we've seen other, the biggest sham of the fight of all of them was Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yes.
Where that wound up being like a draw in a fight that didn't even count for anything.
No.
So, anyways, I feel very justified in my choice to not watch the Jake Paul fight and instead watch UFC over the weekend. We got some great matches.
I was going to say, there was a huge UFC match this weekend.
Topuria Oliveira, that was crazy.
Right. I didn't even know this Jake Paul thing was happening.
Yeah. Which state are Americans moving out of in droves? 8772 RadioU. I have the numbers here. What are droves, anyways?
That's a good question.
I don't even know why I said that. But, Allie, you want to get a guess in for which state Americans can't wait to get out of in 2020? I guess this was 2024.
Can't wait to get out of. Okay. I don't know what the statistics would actually be for this, but I feel like I've heard a lot about people moving out of California because of wildfires and the taxes and things like that. So
California, I guess you get it's not the number one state people are leaving.
Okay.
But people are leaving.
Okay.
This still sounds like a lot though. When you calculate how many people moved in versus how many people moved out, more people moved out of California. And the amount that moved out equates to about 6% of their population, their total population. Okay. And that's not number one.
That's crazy that somebody beat that because that feels like a lot.
And furthermore, that is not California had less people moving out this year than they have in years past.
Okay.
So it's actually
in
been
2024.
In 2024, okay. Yeah, in the most recent year, it's gone. Their migration rate has gone down.
Okay.
So they were up there, though. Number one, the state that people cannot wait to leave is Delaware.
Okay.
Delaware had, in 2024, lost almost 8% of its population of people moving out versus moving in.
Wow.
Not
Why?
a good year for Delaware.
What's the root cause of that? Is it really expensive to live in Delaware, probably, or something like that?
I think there's more expensive states to live in.
That's what I thought, but I feel like one of the main complaints I've heard about California is cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people are moving to places like Texas or Tennessee where there's like less taxes. But I wasn't sure if that's the same in New England, maybe. If
first of all, Delaware, not New England. Second of all,
not New England.
No, definitely not.
Oh, what is it considered? Just East Coast?
Mid-Atlantic.
Okay.
Yeah. New England ends before you get to New York. But Delaware, my theory would have been Delaware, small state. Maybe people are like, I can do better in one of the 3 neighboring states that are very close.
More opportunities.
Or even 4. Yeah, in Maryland, like I could live cheaper in Pennsylvania or Virginia, for example, which are right next door. But Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland also had net losses for migration. So I don't know what it is about Delaware that just maybe 2024 just a bad year for Delaware. Not sure. But
okay.
Would you like to guess which state people are moving into the most?
I think it's Texas.
Incorrect.
Okay.
People are moving into Texas, but not at the high rapid rate of years past and not anywhere near close to the number one state by far. Again, this is compared to their current population.
Yes, yeah.
But South Carolina's population went up by 12% with people moving in.
Wow.
In 2024. Explain that.
I mean, it is. I've heard that it is a nice area to live.
I've just visited South Carolina. Very nice.
Yeah.
No major cities, but I do think that Charleston, it's close to that vibe.
Yep.
Of you get the beachiness,
yep,
the historicness, and it's a big enough city that it's got everything you probably would want. So,
yeah.
I could see South Carolina. I can see the appeal. North Carolina was also close there, as well as Tennessee, Alabama, Nevada, and Idaho were big growers in 2024.
So where did Texas fall in that?
Texas, I don't have it ranked out here, but it had a 2% population increase.
Okay.
So you still talk about the sheer numbers a lot, because California's population is so big, a lot of total people moved out and a lot of total people did move into Texas. But it's not.
But it's all put in perspective of
by their total population, and
gotcha.
the amount of people that moved to Texas and the amount of people that moved to North Carolina nearly the same,
nearly identical to North Carolina, which wasn't even the top one,
which was not even number one.
All
so,
right,
yeah.
So the Carolina is a popular place to be.
It's booming in North and South Carolina, and California, New York, Delaware, Alaska, and Hawaii. People can't wait to leave. What's the last movie you saw in theaters? 8772 Radio U. Did you get to watch anything over the weekend? It's time for our box office breakdown, letting you know what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. I'll tell you what made some money. Your number one movie in America, F1 the movie. $55.6 million. That is the biggest opening for any Apple movie in theaters of all time.
Apple movie?
Yeah, made by Apple.
I thought it was made by Warner Brothers.
It's an Apple original. And 55.6 million in North America, 144 million globally. It's easily its biggest opening yet.
Interesting. So
Apple.
Warner Brothers is just the distributor.
I suppose so. I don't see their name mentioned anywhere here, but big win for Apple.
Apparently. Okay,
Yeah.
That's weird. I did not know Apple was tied to that at all.
Yeah. Warner Brothers is the distributor.
Okay. All right.
But Apple created it, so congratulations, Apple.
I think it's also one of the biggest openings in recent years for Brad Pitt.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't had as hot of a run in box office stuff anyways.
Yeah, he hasn't been in blockbuster stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Number 2 was How to Train Your Dragon, 19 million. And number 3 was Elio, $10.7 million. You hear one notable name missing, don't you, Allie?
Lilo and Stitch?
No. I was thinking about Megan 2.0.
Oh. Well, I knew that wasn't going to do well.
What?
I felt like the reviews were not as good for the second one.
We did talk in the weekend watch list how it had like a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's equivalent to having like a 0% because the critics have been
high.
so positive now. But it made $10.2 million, not enough to crack the top 3 after the first one was so successful. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm, I guess, shocked or whatever, but I felt like, I know I mentioned this when we talked about Megan. I was not a huge fan of the first one, so I have like zero interest in seeing the second one, and I don't know, maybe people also felt the same way. Megan was enough.
So many people loved the first one, and the dances was viral and everything, and people were dressing up as Megan for Halloween, and now they couldn't parlay that into more than $10 million in an opening weekend.
Yeah.
Sad.
I don't think I even really knew that this movie was coming out before we honestly talked about it. So.
And it had a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty sad. 877-2-RADIO-U. Let us know the last thing you watched. We want to hear your reviews. And I know Allie said that she watched something that scarred her for life.
Yeah, I watched 2 horror movies recently, but one of them was particularly scarring.
Well, when we come back, please do not tell us about them. We just did the box office breakdown, looking at the top movies in theaters over the weekend that made money, and asking what you watched as well. Logan got in at 877-2-RADIO-U. He said, I watched How to Train Your Dragon, and I absolutely loved it.
I've heard so much good things about How to Train Your Dragon, that it's like one of the best live actions ever done. So I really need to see it. And I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters because I'm planning to see another movie in theaters coming up. And movies are so expensive. I wish I could go see movies more. I know we've talked about this, but I do want to see this a lot.
We're getting into the time of year where I feel like I'm going to be at the theater every week.
I know,
for
there's
like the next month.
so many good movies coming out this year. I really, honestly, I slept on this slate for 2025.
Oh, yeah. 2025 movies are back.
Yeah, apparently.
Summer. I might not even get the chance to go see F1, and based off all the reviews and everything, I'm really interested, but I don't know if I'll get the chance to see that.
Yeah.
Allie, what did you watch recently? Tread carefully.
So one of them I told you about. I watched Black Phone, which is a horror movie about, it's based off of a book. Weirdly enough, a book written by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. And it has a lot of Stephen King isms in it. And so you might even mistake the story to be a Stephen King story if you watch Black Phone. But I really enjoyed it. It was very well done. It actually has Mason, I can't remember his last name, but he is in How to Train Your Dragon. He's Hiccup.
Interesting.
And he, so he plays like the main kid in Black Phone, and Ethan Hawke is in it. He plays like the bad guy, but very well done. I enjoyed that. Now, for the one that scarred me for life.
Okay, it wasn't the Black Phone.
Not Black Phone. I was watching a podcast that talks about horror movies, and they were mentioning one of my favorites, which is As Above, So Below, which is a found footage film. And, it's like fake found footage. But yeah. And they were mentioning how these directors that made this movie had made another found footage film, which was like a fake documentary about a serial killer where they found a bunch of tapes about this serial killer that the serial killer filmed. And they found these tapes. And I was like, that sounds like an interesting plot. Let me go watch it. And it was like, again, a fake FBI documentary. And at first I was like, okay, I can get into this. But then when they show you what's on these tapes, I'm like, why would anyone make this movie? This is awful. And so, I'm emotionally damaged from watching this.
What's it called? What's the movie called?
It's called The Poughkeepsie Tapes.
And what's on the tapes?
Not good things. Not good things at all. In fact, I'm very disturbed that I even finished this movie, but I'm not a quitter. And so I watched it and I was like, I can't get these images out of my head now. I'm not going to be able to unsee this stuff. But yeah, I want to become an evangelist against this movie. Do not watch this movie is what I want to tell people.
None of us were tempted until you just mentioned it now, and now we're still not tempted.
Yeah, please don't take my...
But the best way to prevent us from watching it would have been to never bring it up.
I had to share about my emotional damage.
I guarantee not a single person listening right now was like, you know what I should do tonight? Watch the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Don't.
And then you bring it up. William texted in. He said he watched a movie called Sorry, Wrong Number. It's from 1948, a noir thriller. I love that. I want to get into some old movies.
But it's weirdly enough, that title of the movie sounds almost modern. You know what I mean? So, interesting.
It's got Burt Lancaster and Barbara Stanwyck in it.
Wow.
My favorites.
Wow.
On a lighter note, I realized that Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out. I'm pretty interested in it. But then I realized I haven't watched 2 of the 3 new Jurassic World movies.
Yeah.
So I watched the second one.
Okay.
Not very good.
Oh.
Fine, but not very good. But I will be getting on that third one so that I'm prepared and ready
to
for
go
when the new one comes out next week, or this weekend, I guess. And I also watched Man vs. Bee, which is a show on Netflix. I think it's from several years ago.
Okay.
It stars Rowan Atkinson. He's basically Mr. Bean, but he's not technically Mr. Bean. And
but he does similar antics.
Yeah, very physical comedy. He's house sitting. A bee gets in the house and keeps causing havoc. He's singularly focused on this bee to the detriment of his house sitting. You keep yelling at him. If you're an imbecile like me, you keep going, Mr. Bean, don't do that. What are you doing, Mr. Bean? Watch out for the dog. These kinds of things.
Right.
They're super short episodes, and it's just fun and stupid. And that's what I watched with the Netflix login that Mrs. Hudson got to watch Squid Games.
Ah.
So that's what we were doing.
Gotcha.
We did not watch Squid Games together. Breaking up is hard to do. Why not let AI do it for you? 8772 Radio U. It sounds like, though, I don't need to do a lot of convincing because according to this new survey, 41% of people under the age of 29 have used AI to help end a relationship. Almost half of people.
Well,
basically, if you've been broken up with.
Caveat here, this study was done with people that use AI in relationships. Mm-hmm. So that caveat needs to be added, that asterisk. So this is already a subset of people.
But doesn't everybody just use AI today?
I use AI all the time, but I don't use it with relationship stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that before.
Well, give it time.
Give it time.
Yeah, I'm sure. I understand. And now this survey covers how people have used AI in many different aspects of dating.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, many of them make sense, especially when it's talking about optimizing your dating app bio or getting conversation starters.
Which We've talked about how a lot of the dating apps have added that in.
Right.
So that's already a part of their app.
It makes it so much easier, and it's clearly something that I feel like people were probably just using ChatGPT on their own anyways. And so then, Tinder and other apps are just like, hey, why don't we just put that right in here and just keep everybody in the app all the time? Now, once you're out of the app and into a relationship, AI still seems to be proving useful because, again, 41% of people claiming that they've used AI to help end a relationship. You can easily find on TikTok videos of people running breakup messages they've received through the checkers to find out if they're AI generated. And sadly, sometimes they're 100% in this one I'm looking at right here. I mean, if I was to use ChatGPT to write a breakup message, then I would edit it to put my own words in after.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, that just shows you they didn't care at all.
Yeah.
They were just like, yep, copy, paste, and then text. Like that, first of all.
What's the quickest way I can get out of this thing?
Right. First of all, it's a bad sign. They're texting a breakup text.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're texting you. So breaking up over text, not great, not good. And then they don't even have the time, the thought, nothing to like come up with what they want to say when they break up with you. They're just like, ChatGPT, write it for me and copy, paste, and send. So that's overall very rough way to break up.
It doesn't feel good.
No,
you should definitely get ChatGPT to write your relationship breakup message and then call them and tell them that over the phone.
It'll
instead.
make it so much better
And
to read it.
They can't run your call through an AI checker.
Yeah. I mean, we all know everyone's so natural when they read. They sound so like they're talking just normally.
Well, it's hard to judge when you're breaking up, too. Like, who's even going to be thinking about that?
Yeah, like how conversational you sound.
Yeah. You can totally get much quicker to get away with it. As if getting caught does something. Like, what even is going to happen to the person that sends a completely AI-generated text?
Yeah, right.
A breakup text.
No, I mean, you're just going to get blasted online, apparently, because this TikTok has 240,000 views. My favorite part is the video's captioned, when he sends a breakup text that looks entirely written by ChatGPT, them dashes and all.
Yeah, it's the dashes.
The dashes. That
the
gives
dead
it away.
giveaway. One of dashes and chaos. You know it's ChatGPT. Why are people saying no thanks to the classic party tradition of opening presents? 8772 Radio U. It's a new trend, particularly when it comes to baby showers, where people no longer, I guess moms in this case, no longer are going through the ordeal of opening everyone's present in front of everybody, and instead having what they call display showers. That is where, as I understand it, instead of having all the presents wrapped up and secret, and then you get to open them all in front of everybody, the presents are just out and about. You don't wrap them, you don't bag them, whatever. You do put maybe a tag that says who it's from, and then so everybody gets to see all the cool stuff that mom got without mom having to open every single present in front of everybody.
But that's so fun.
Not for everyone.
Apparently not, but I think it's very few people that actually are not wanting to do that. Especially for a baby shower, because everything's for the baby. And you're so excited about having a baby. It's only for your first child. You know, you don't do baby showers after you're on your second or third kid or whatever.
You don't?
No. You may do like what they call a sprinkle.
A sprinkle?
Yeah, you haven't heard of that?
I'm not comfortable with that. I think I understand this, and this is coming from somebody who loves to be the center of attention. But the center of attention isn't always a great thing. When you're sitting there opening your presents in front of everybody, you have to go one by one, and it's so awkward.
But
it's so uncomfortable.
It is kind of a traditional thing, though, too, to do that, especially for baby showers and wedding showers or bridal showers, because what you'll do is you'll open the gifts, and I've been this person for different family members. You'll have somebody beside them writing down the gift and who it's from, so then you can write thank you notes later and send them a thank you note for that gift.
And when you have the traditional present opening ceremony where every present gets opened individually, then every baby shower and birthday party that has ever happened in the history of time, there's a present that you get that you don't like, and you have to go, oh, thanks. And if you have a display shower, you can completely avoid that.
But that's a normal part of life, Hudson. Everybody has to go through that.
We don't all have to go through it, thanks to display showers.
We can do hard things. Stop trying to avoid doing hard things.
But we don't have to do hard things that are unnecessary.
No, here's the thing. We should always be grateful for any gifts that people give us, even if it's not something that fits our personal style. And just because it makes you feel awkward saying thank you to someone for something you didn't want or you don't particularly like, doesn't mean you should stop opening gifts and being thankful in front of people. People like that.
No, it doesn't mean you should stop opening gifts. It means people should stop wrapping them. Just leave them out. It's a waste, too. We're talking about waste. All that paper that's for what?
I reuse all of that stuff. I reuse all the tissue. I reuse all the bags.
Wow.
I keep all of that.
Look at you, Captain Planet over there.
No, I'm just saying I feel like it would be a waste if I was throwing all the bags away, but I don't do that. I keep them.
Kelly says it is becoming more popular, the display showers, and super annoying. Half the time you either don't get a thank you. And if you do, it's the most generic message. It gives off greedy and entitled. So then as a guest, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, it feels a lot less personal than how it used to be, especially for, again, the more traditional things of how I'm viewing this is through the lens of a baby shower or a bridal shower, which for the most part will only happen one time in one woman's particular life. So, if you're going to then make that experience less personal and you're not going to allow that person that spent money on you a time where you're going to either open the gift in front of them or give them a thank you, it does make it feel like, well, why did I even buy that? I mean, I don't think I would feel that way, but I don't like that people are not opening gifts.
I like it. And for another reason, efficiency. There's a lot of things you can do at a party that are more fun.
Why should a bridal shower be efficient? What's the point of a bridal shower being efficient?
I just don't want to waste people's time. And if I'm opening every present and I get 30 presents, that's 29 people during each present that are like, oh boy, another present.
No,
it's a waste of time.
No, we love it.
It's a waste of time.
We absolutely love it. I love going to bridal showers and seeing every gift that the bride was given, or to a baby shower and see all the cute clothes and all the cute toys.
Susanna says display showers is the best modern trend that has ever been invented. The openings are so awkward and boring and wasteful. Thank you, Susanna.
I completely disagree. I think it's, especially for family, I think it's a lovely experience.
We're talking about the new trend, display showers, whether you're having a baby shower or a bridal shower, et cetera, maybe just a birthday party. Instead of having everybody wrap their gifts and you open up them one by one in front of everyone, you just have the gifts out, not wrapped, but maybe tagged so that you know what's from who, and you call it a display shower to save everybody the awkwardness. Allie hates this idea.
I do. I'm an old-fashioned person, apparently.
Yeah, and Robbie's with you. Robbie says, we become an instant gratification society. No one wants to wait that whole time to watch you open every present. Yes, that's correct. Which is selfish. We should stop being selfish. We should get our faces out of our phones and spend time with each other, watch the person open their presents. But then Susanna said, you're seeing your relatives that you don't get to see often and you want to talk to them, but then the conversations get interrupted by the gifts.
Yeah, because it's about the person opening the gifts. That's the whole point of a shower, guys. That's what I'm trying to understand. Is like, to me, I always grew up understanding that a shower is literally you presenting gifts to the person that's having the baby or getting married.
But if the person that, like Kara here, who I'll get to in a second, doesn't want to open all their gifts in front of everybody, shouldn't it be about them since it's their shower or party?
I think, yeah, if it's a personal decision that you don't want to open gifts in front of people, I'm not going to stop you or be mad at you. And I'm not going to hold a grudge against you like, oh, no, I don't give a gift to somebody to get a thank you. That's not the reason I'm giving a gift. But to me, as I said, I'm more of a traditionalist, I guess. I didn't think it was more, but it is the traditional view, I suppose, that I do want to see, the shower in the traditional way of the bride opening all the gifts, or the person that's having the baby, the woman who's having the baby, future mom to be opening the gifts. I love that. And I really enjoy that whole thing. I don't get the awkward vibes. I don't get the like, oh, this is taking too long thing. So, yeah.
Kara says, I hate opening presents at showers. I open presents one by one at my wedding shower only because my little nephew really wanted to. Because of the amount of time it took to open presents, I didn't get to talk to any of my guests. I absolutely hate being the center of attention. Most of these showers happen at venues where you only have an allotted period of time. That's true. And I would much rather spend one-on-one time with each guest and write a heartfelt handwritten thank you note later. So you hear that, Kara's nephew? You ruined her wedding.
The thank you note is written later, no matter what. Whether you open the gifts there or not, you're going to write the note later. So I don't think that changes whether you open gifts or not. You should be writing a handwritten thank you note either way. That is, a thank you to the person that gave gifts. But again, I don't think that's the point. But I think for me, it's more just like, when you're a bride or when you are a mom-to-be, the whole thing with the shower is you are the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a struggle for those that don't want to be, but that's what the shower is going to be. Just a heads up, you know, like you're going to be the center of attention whether you're opening gifts or not.
Well, you can play the games, you can do that, but my mom even said I'd rather watch someone open gifts than play some of the party games.
Some of the party games are really cringe, not going to lie.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I will say the modern invention that I do like is instead of doing bridal showers, doing a wedding shower where you have the both fiancés there, so the bride and the groom opening gifts together. I think that's really cute, and maybe a way for those that do struggle being the lone center of attention to have the spotlight taken off of you a little bit, and you can share that with your fiancé, so you don't have to worry. You can open gifts together and make it a little less awkward.
I don't know. You know what I feel is I feel a lot of selfishness from the people giving the gifts, that they're like, you need to make it a spectacle and let me watch.
No, but that's
just
the whole,
like,
if you look up like the definition of a bridal shower, it's literally the presentation of gifts to the bride.
It's time for that to change.
Then it's not a bridal shower.
Then let's get rid of them.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.